Hello, everyone. My name is Marine Benchenbeck. I am the General Director and co-founder of Thanks for Nothing. So Thanks for Nothing is an organization created 6 years ago with a collective of women. Some of them are here today to organize the talks. And it's been 3 years now that we have been invited by Asia Now Fair and Alexandra Fin and Katia Ayou, who are the directors of the fair, to program days of conferences dedicated to art and social commitment. So this is the third roundtable that we're having today. And we'll have two more roundtables after that. So please feel free to stay and stay with us. And so today I'm very happy to welcome Lina Kim, who is here with us. So she just arrived from Korea, Seoul, actually. And so I met Lina thanks to wonderful friends, Eva Alvarez and Christian Bourdais, who are actually there, having a gallery and a production company as well. And so I was in Seoul, in Korea, last September for the Freeze Art Fair, which is another art fair, but I'm allowed to talk about another fair. Actually, Lina was kind enough to invite a group of, is it still going on? Yeah, a group to her newly opened museum, which is a private museum, right outside of Seoul. Actually, it's not right in the city of Seoul, but it's like 20 minutes from the city center. And I think it is important to mention because if you happen to go to Seoul and Korea, it's very easy to navigate and go there and visit the museum. And so we visited the museum, which just opened last May, so May 2023. So it's brand new in the Korean scene, and we thought it was absolutely fantastic to have you here because what you have achieved with your family, because we're going to talk about that, is first a family collection, and now a museum open to the public. So the conversation today will be address those topics and how you decided to create this museum, which I also going to say that usually it's not very polite, but you're only 30 years old. So I also wanted to highlight this point because, well, to me, it would have been a dream to have a museum at 30. And so I think it's really nice the way you completely thought about it, design, and specifically commission architects for everything. So we're going to talk about all of this. But first of all, I really wanted to highlight how Korean scene has an amazing involvement with contemporary art and socially committed art as well, and how dynamic I was like completely fascinated for the scene. So please join us if you want next year to see the KNL Museum in Korea, the scene, and also because we had Nicolas Borio this morning, who is the curator of the Gwangju Biennale next year, which will start right after Freeze Art Fair. So if you have nothing to do next September, it's perfect to go to Seoul and see the fair, and then go to Lina's museum, and then go to Gwangju. So you already have a schedule packed for a year ahead. So again, thank you so much, Lina, for being here. Maybe I can let you introduce yourself briefly and how you and your family decided to create a collection and how it led you to opening the museum.
Hi, hello everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So my name is Lina Kim. I'm from Seoul, Korea, and I had a pure education for art since I was really young in Korea. So because I was so passionate about art, and I got education from like good artistic school in Korea, and then I went to the U.S. and I studied fine art there in Art Institute of Chicago, and then right after that I continued to develop my professionals in like several different commercial galleries to fulfill my artistic experiences. And then behind the establishment behind the story about the establishment of our KNL Museum is actually it's a private museum operated by me and my father. So it's like a museum of father and daughter. And so because my father's main business is actually about fashion, and he had this company named SMK International, which is dedicated to producing the shirts and then export to abroad. So and he's been doing this for the last 30 years. So because of this background, he tends to communicate and develop the network within like whole different countries, especially for Europe and Southeast Asia, because he has factory in Southeast Asia. So with this background, he found all the different diversity of cultures are really interesting, and he had aimed to introduce this kind of cultural things to Korean people. So that's why he wanted to. So the basic idea was he wanted to create this culture complex in this area of Gwacheon, where my father's company's headquarters is located. And so we developed this region to be a culture complex, which has not only fashion, but also like cuisine, like food, and also art, and maybe music in the future. So in this aim, under his aim of like introducing cultures to Korean people, and I was studying art like for a long time, and then I wanted to show this artistic aim to collaborate with my father. So that was the basic idea of establishing this private museum.
Yeah, and so I was lucky enough to visit the museum, and so I know that you and your father, as you said, have a passion also for music. So a lot of the works that you collect and that you present are linked to music, which is also the case for the exhibition that you have right now. So if you go tomorrow to Seoul and visit KNL Museum, so Lina will not be here, but she will be in Paris, obviously. But if you go there, there is a fantastic exhibition by Herman Nitsch. Yeah, I know, Anilem. It's impressive. I know. And so Anilem Dugu, sorry, she's the president of Thanks for Nothing, and I could tell from her face that she was impressed by the selection of the artist. Absolutely. So he is an Austrian artist that you can actually see right now at the Musée de l'Orangerie. And you can see some of the works here that are really, he was one of the most important Austrian artists dedicated to oh my God, I won't be able to say it in German because I cannot say that, but to expressionism and part of performances involving the works. And part of the performances also involve a lot of music and opera. And so Lina, and this is why also I want to highlight that, decided not only to open the museum herself and design everything, but to choose this very important but not easy artist to open the museum. So Lina, do you want to say a few words about Herman Nitsch's work and how we partner with the foundation as well to gather all this amazing ensemble of works that are now shown at the museum?
So, as everyone knows, Hermann Nitsch is a master of Austrian artist who led the Austrian expressionists in the 1960s. And then we all know that he has his work is about the context of like essence of human existence and like a little bit of religious theme, and it's very deep and serious. But then, as Marie mentioned, my father is particularly really into like classical music as well, not only in art. So he actually is a part of the Beat Wagner Association in Korea because he loves Wagner's music a lot. So, and then we went to this article fair held in Spain, Madrid, and then we saw Herman Lisz's work that was highly related to Wagner's music because on 2021 they had Wagner's one of the opera called Valkyrie in Bayreuth, Bayreuth, German. And then actually Hermann Lisch was the director of the whole performance of the opera. And then he engaged it with the context of the concept of Gesamtkunstwerk, which is about like total art that Richard Wagner has addressed. And then Hermann Lisz's work is highly related to this concept of Gesamtkunstwerk. So it has a relationship between this music and the art and the performance and like the action painting that he did. So we were really dragged into this particular series of Hermann Lisz. And my father was so obsessed and he got so much inspired by his work. So we decided to maybe, it has like this personal connection of our family and then about music and art. And not only that, we wanted to show to Korean people about this really strong, important artist. So that's why we decided to have his show as an inauguration exhibition at our museum.
Yeah, and also when I was there, you mentioned that you had a performance for the opening, like a musical performance.
Yeah.
So is it part of the programming that you have to create dialogue between painting, sculpture, visual arts, but also music within the museum?
Yes, like I said, our basic idea for this whole project is not only featuring art. Art is the strongest part that we have, but also in the future, our family wants to make a good space for the music as well. So before that, we want to always connect the harmony between fine arts and music in the context of like category of art in total. So we tend to have a small concert every time we have another exhibition. So we want to have like a small, we have a small stage on the first floor of our museum so that we can convey the power of music and art together and to audience to feel, this fulfilling about this environment in the museum and music together.
And maybe, Elisa, we can have a look to some of the spaces of the museum. Because, so if we come back to the first slide, so you can see that, so this is the outdoor museum, obviously. And so you have like a small room here dedicated to special projects. Then you have the hall here, which is the main entrance. And then you go through 2 floors. The first one here when you have the stage, and then you go up. And what I just wanted to highlight, and maybe you can talk about that a little bit, is that, so the space is not like as big as the Centre Pompidou, for sure. But I mean, it's a very well done space in terms of communication within the rooms. So I know you won't say that because it's your museum, so you're not going to brag about it, saying, yes, I've done it perfectly well. But I can say it for you, because when you go through the past of the exhibition, in every room, you have a connection to the previous room and to the next room. So you really have the feeling that it is an organic museum. And actually, it feels like endless in a way. So can you talk about the design of the museum, how you commissioned the architect? We are, at Thanks for Nothing, creating our own art center, which is a nightmare. So it's going to open maybe in 4 years. No, hopefully in 4 years. But I know that you've done better than us. It was shorter, and you really were the one involved into the construction as well. So can you, because I know it's hard, so can you share with us how you work with the architects in terms of the journey of the visitor, also the lighting, which is super well done. So I'm sure for professional of the art world, but for also people who don't know how to create a museum, which is not very easy and common knowledge for everyone. Tell us how you did that.
Okay, so we've been preparing for this architecture project for like more than like 3 years, and then we talked with several different architect companies, and then we met this Korean architect named Jinhyung, and he actually had a good conversation with us, and he was able to express and able to make this construction as what we want because so the basic idea was so if you can see the corner of the building on the right, there is a small booth made out of glass right there. It's like a small booth. So that's like a symbol of our museum, like symbolic space, because we wanted to show the highlight and the main context of each exhibition through that small booth, so that
which is outside, so you can sit from the street, and people can walk by and see and have a view. It's the small, but it's not so small. The square here, here.
Exactly. So that the people can walk around and then see that booth and get the instant idea of what is going on inside the exhibition. And then, if you can see, the building itself is not like perfectly rectangular. It has like an open space in the middle, like a courtyard. So that means it's open to public, and it narrow, no, it how to say, it leads people to come into the museum like more freely without any burden. So it says that. And then if you come into inside, there is like a main gallery space on the first floor, and then like Marin mentioned, we have like skip floor, and then it actually continuously lead the viewers to continuously see the whole exhibition. So to understand the whole context and whole idea of the one exhibition in better perspective. So it's not like divided into two different like level, but it leads you to see the exhibition like continuously, so that you can get the better idea.
Absolutely, and it really feels this way. And maybe, Lina, you can talk also about the area, because like I told you, it's not inside of Seoul city, I would say. It's a bit out of the city. And actually, you mentioned that when we visited the museum. But so for those who know, like one of the biggest contemporary art museum in Seoul is called the MMCA. And now it's really, I wouldn't say the heart of Seoul, because there is no heart of the city. There is different areas that I can barely put on map, I have to say, for now. And so initially, the Museum of Contemporary Art in Seoul was around in your area, which is not like, again, if you would picture to open a private museum in Seoul, you would think that it will be in another area, but you decided to have it in this historical area where the MMCS started, and still have actually some project outdoors, but they're less well known. So it's also a way to bring culture and a museum and contemporary art and music, like you said, in another area which is not closest to all the museums that you can visit in Seoul. Like in Paris, it would be like doing this project maybe in the south of Paris, like where there's not a lot of institutions. So I think it is interesting also in terms of topography and understanding how you decided to place the museum, that you didn't go right where it was supposed to happen, maybe in the way that would be, again, an easy way. So if you can talk about this area, because we don't know it very well.
So Pachon area is actually not that far from Seoul, as you said.
Yeah.
It's only like 15 to 20 minutes away by Gangnam area, which is like a really the most fashionable
Yeah.
place in Seoul. Um, What's really good about Hachon is nearby Seoul, which is the main city, but then it has really good surrounding nature, so that you can actually come and not only see art, but you can have like relaxing time there. And like I said, my father's company headquarters is located right in front of the museum, and then my mother's Spanish restaurant. She owns a Spanish restaurant because we love culture. So, yeah, it's right beside there. So it's like all together. So the main idea is that to bring people who is exhausted about like crazy life, and then to come, which is not far, really far from their location, and then come and have a comfortable time with art, music, and food and everything, and like
nature.
and nature, of course. And then, like you said, Gwacheon area is kind of a historical place in terms of art as well in Korea, because NMCA is one of the most biggest and the significant national museum in Korea, Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art. And
Yeah, it is like the Centre Pompidou in Korea.
yeah, actually. So they have this permanent collection of Namjoon Paik as well.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people come and see this. So MMCA has two museums in Korea, one in Gwacheon and one in Seoul, in the heart of Seoul, like you said. But the museum in Seoul is more dedicated to like contemporary and like high fashion. I don't know if I can say this, but like yeah, more like international artists and mainstream artists in the art scene. But then MMCA Gwacheon is more dedicated to modern and more like Korean artists. So it's more like historical place. So I am very happy that we can we could establish our museum near the MMCA, so that it can make a really good synergy together for the audiences to come and see MMCA's like masterpieces, like Korean masterpieces, and then come see our museum program as well.
Thank you. And actually, my last question, because we have a few minutes left, would be about the audiences. So, can you tell us what kind of programs do you have for the public, and how are you going to partner maybe with the MMCA, like you said? So, what are the targets for the museum? To reach.
So I would say we don't necessarily limit ourselves to targeting like specific audience groups, but I think art has always been like creation of something new, and we want people to come with their curiosity and passion for like discovering new art. So actually, after we opened the Hermanus exhibition, I expected people who already know about Hermanus, because he is really important, but at the same time like kind of unknown artist in Korea. So I thought audiences who already know and studied about the artists would come. But actually, in Korea nowadays, a lot of NZ generations, a lot of like young generations, like teenagers or like in between like 20 or 30, they're highly interested in discovering new art, and to find themselves in this kind of like new artists' work that they have never seen before. So actually, after we opened the exhibition, we got a lot of audiences from all different ages. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And can you share maybe the program for next year? Do you have
Oh yeah.
You
So,
can?
yes.
Okay, that's nice. Because this morning with Nicolas Boyo, we couldn't have many information. So I'm like, okay, can we share that? So if you can, that's nice.
So for the next year, we're gonna show really significant senior artist, Korean artist named Bong Myung-hyun. He's representational artist who works with the context of mythology and human being and philosophy and everything. Yeah.
It works well with the previous roundtable.
Yeah, it's in a row.
So next year, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think after that we're gonna show young emerging artists from London and New York. That is gonna be like double two people show because we want to show and give a chance and encourage for the young artists as well. And then after that, of course, during freeze period,
So you're gonna have 3 shows next year?
actually, we're gonna have 4.
Oh wow.
shows.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we're still in the conversation, but I think we're gonna show really big European artists and during the freeze. Yeah, and then after that, because we have Gwangju Biennale coming on 2024, and actually I have been invited
That's
to
right.
to Gwangju Biennale to make a curation for the Myanmar Pavilion.
Yeah.
So in that period of time, I'm also gonna show Myanmar artist group show as well in our museum.
Wow, fantastic. So yeah, so not only you can visit the museum, but you also can visit the Myanmar Pavilion curated by Lina. So that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lina. I don't know if you have questions, even though we don't have much time, but maybe you do.
Well, I just wanted maybe
Yes.
a couple of words about the collection strategy. Is it already something which is fixed? So this connection between art and music, is it something you are going to continue? Is it the only one direction, or are you thinking about other directions?
Of course, we will continue to collect the art related to art and music because it's our part of our identity, being at the museum operated by father and daughter. And then, but then we'll also gonna think for the artists. It has to be personal because we're like of course every collectors reflect their personal ideas into where what they collect. Then we want to seek for the artist who talks about like human being and all the related elements like social issues or environmental issues or like philosophical or emotional, like all these human related themes, and at the same time fulfill the aesthetical point. So that's like the basic route, basic
Which
direction.
is very serious.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lina. Anyone else? Or should we clap for her? Thank you so much, Lina, for coming all the way from Seoul to Paris, of course. And thank you for sharing this really great project, and again, very serious and very well done project. Again, I mean, we're very lucky with our works to travel the world and to visit many institutions. And I think what you have achieved with your family is very impressive, and the museum speaks a lot about the quality of your choices and your collection and your vision. So thank you so much for being with us.
So much.
Thanks.